guys, welcome to Yin Yoga, moving into stillness. This is Travis Eliot, and we're going to get started here in a couple minutes. If you can do me a favor and just leave a comment down below and let me know where it is that you're practicing from, I would love to hear from you. So just want to share a couple things before we get started. I know that we're going to have a lot of people from probably all around the world that are going to be joining in and doing this class, and it's an honor to get to be connected and to be connected through yoga and through Yin Yoga especially. Mother Teresa says the problem is that we've forgotten that we all belong to each other. And at the time of this live filming, we are in a coronavirus crisis, right, where we're being told to physically distance and physically separate ourselves from other people. And we just have to remember that on a deeper level, despite the physical separation, that energetically we are all connected. So we're going to move through this practice, moving into stillness, because stillness is what is like the doorway that brings us back into that dimension of oneness and unity. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you leave a comment below. Let me know where you're practicing from around the world, where you're tuning in from. It's 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles, so if you're on the West Coast, shout out to you. I don't usually do Yin Yoga first thing in the morning, but I wanted to get as many people to be a part of this practice as possible. So I'm here early, and I know other people it's afternoon, it's evening, but wherever you are, it's good to have you here. So we have a problem, and the problem is in our culture that people are overly stressed, overly stimulated, and also that shows up in the body where the body is very, very tight. So the power of Yin Yoga is that it, one, brings our nervous system back to balance, and two, it helps us to dissolve the tension out of the body. So we're going to move through a 90-minute practice here, and it's going to touch different, what we call target areas in the body, different areas, different muscle groups, different fascial matrix. And we'll be holding each pose for about 3 to 5 minutes. The longer you hold, the deeper you go, the deeper you go, the deeper you heal, and the deeper you heal, the better you're going to feel. So patience is a virtue. Make sure that before we get started that you eliminate all distractions. So get rid of any sounds on the computer, cell phones, TV. Tell your neighbors to be quiet. Just make sure that you create this little cocoon, this little bubble where these 90 minutes you can really go super, super deep. Also, I'm going to be playing music in the background on my laptop over here, and I want to shout out Ryan Richko. I'm going to be playing his music. Ryan is the composer on my programs, Level Up 108, Ultimate Yogi, Flexibility and Beyond. So a lot of this music is from those programs. Leave a comment below. Let me know where you're practicing from. Shout me out. Love to hear from you guys. Love to hear where you're tuning in from. Lastly, props. If you have a block, if you have a bolster, feel free to have that on standby. And if you don't have that, then all good. We'll still make it work. All right. I'm excited to get started with you. We're going to start off on our back. So go ahead and recline all the way down onto your back. And as you come down onto your back, go ahead and extend both legs straight out in front of you. And for now, just allow your arms to draw down by your sides. You can turn the palms up to the sky, a gesture to receive. And then we're going to go ahead and segue into our first yin pose. So you're going to keep the left leg straight out in front of you, and you're going to bring the sole of your right foot high up to your inner left thigh for what we call reclining tree. So left leg straight. The right foot comes to the inner left thigh, and you're going to let the right knee flare open to the right. And then we'll take one hand, we'll place it on the belly. The other hand, you'll place it right on top of your chest and your heart. Feel free to go ahead and close your eyes. Bring your awareness inward, inside. And let's take a nice, big, deep inhale through the nose. Fill the lungs up with breath. And then out the mouth, exhale, just let it all go. Just empty the lungs out of breath. Good, a couple more clearing breaths. Nice big inhale through the nose, draw the air in. And then out the mouth, exhale, side out, maybe with a little bit of sound. Beautiful, one more time. Big inhale, even deeper, draw the air to the bottoms of the lungs, hold it in for a couple of moments. And then exhale, just let it all go. And then now just allow your breath to slip into just a natural, effortless rhythm. So much of the power of this practice of yin yoga is not within striving or desire to get somewhere, to make anything happen. That really creates the obstacles of helping us move into that deep place of stillness and restoration, recharging in the deepest of ways. So the power in yin comes within letting go, non-grasping, in yoga what we call apatigraha, non-attachment. So take a nice slow scan through your body from the top of the head all the way down the face, the jaw, your throat, your neck, all the way down the arms, the elbows, the wrists, down into the hands, the fingertips. And just let go. Feel the musculature of your body just releasing and softening. Continue to scan down from your heart, your chest, all the way down towards the ribs, all the way down into the belly, and allow the whole front of the body to soften, to relax as well. And you might even feel your belly just receiving the inhales and then letting go of the exhales. So in the same way that the body knows how to breathe itself, we're not inhaling all the time, we're not holding on all the time, that our intelligence that's innate also knows how to let go, and we let go on the exhales. So just feel yourself tuned in to the rhythm of your breath, the rhythm of your life. And then from your upper back all the way down between the shoulder blades, the back of the heart, all the way down into the lower back, the area of the kidneys, all the way down into the sacrum and the tailbone. Also just allowing yourself to release and to relax there as well. And then allow your hips to release, allow your hips to relax, allow your groin to soften. And let your thighs release. Let your hamstrings release. Relax the knees, the shins, the calves, all the way down into the ankles, the feet, the toes, just everything releasing and letting go. And then now just feel your whole entire body as one connected field, connected through the connective tissues, connected through the fascial matrix. And the whole entire field, the whole entire landscape of your body just in a state of receiving what it is that your yin yoga practice has to offer you. Take another big deep inhale through the nose, fill the lungs back up with breath. And then out the mouth, exhale, just clear it all the way out. Good. Now from here, place one hand on top of your belly and the other hand right over top your chest, your heart, if it's not already. And see if you can pick a one-word intention for what you would like to align yourself with throughout this practice. Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's compassion. Maybe it's wholeness. Maybe it's patience, stillness. What word resonates with you as a theme right now? And then after you selected that one word intention, in yoga we call this sankalpa, just repeat that several times silently internally. Just like a soft whisper, almost like you're dropping a pearl into a body of water. And as the pearl hits the body of the water, it sends that ripple all the way to the outer edges of the water, and then it becomes still again, and then you drop another pearl. Slowly, softly, gently, tenderly. And as Gandhi said, in a gentle way, you can shake the entire world. So we use that quality of gentleness to ultimately create a type of strength. A strength that really becomes the foundation of our whole entire health and well-being. Repeat that intention, just last several repetitions. Good, you guys, and then nice and easily just allow that repetition to go. Just clear the sky of your awareness again. Nowhere to get to, nothing to do, but to just let go and let be. Trust that it'll all happen and all take care of itself. Now from here, we're going to take the right knee and we're going to bring it all the way up to center. You're going to grab your right shin with both of your hands and you're going to hug your right knee into your belly. Your left leg is still extended straight out in front of you along the mat. And then you're going to take your right arm and you're going to extend that out like a wing over to the right. And then with your left hand on your outer right knee, you're going to guide your right knee all the way over into a twist. So the right knee comes all the way over to the left. And then you get that big, beautiful release down in the lower back. Now, option to stay here if you want, or you can progress further and come into what we call cat pulling its tail pose. So for cat pulling its tail pose, you would bend your left foot in towards your hips. And then you would reach down with your right hand and you would grab onto that left foot like you're grabbing onto a tail. And then you draw that even closer into the hips. And then the key is to allow that right shoulder blade like a paperweight, a heavy paperweight, to anchor solid down into the ground. And then your right knee, you can continue to keep that bent. Some people like to even extend the right leg out towards straight, out over there towards the left. So you have a few options. And you always want to pick the option that is inspired by your wisdom, never your ego or your vanity, because your ego always wants more. It's never enough for the ego. We call that the hungry ghost. Doesn't matter how much you feed it, its hunger never gets satiated. But your wisdom knows, your intuition knows. So listen to that voice of inner wisdom and approach these poses just like you would approach a new relationship, with love, with respect. And we'll be here for a couple more minutes. guys. Now if you're in cat pulling its tail variation, you're going to release that foot that you're holding on to, that left foot. And then you'll ease your way out of the twist. So go ahead and bring your right leg, right knee all the way back up to neutral. And then we'll hug both knees back into the belly. And then just do a little compassionate rock side to side, just massaging into that lower back, into that kidney band. In Chinese medicine, this is the area that is where the Jing is stored. And our Jing is our life essence. And the more that we preserve that, the greater longevity of life that we have. So just give that area a little bit of attention. Good, and then from here, let's go ahead and extend the right leg out towards straight, and then we'll come into reclining tree pose on the other side. So your right leg straight along the floor, and then you'll open your left knee out to the left, so your left hip is in an external rotation, and then the sole of your left foot comes high up to your inner right leg, right thigh. If you feel any pressure in your left knee, you can slide the left foot down towards your inner right knee. And then this time, let's come to cactus arms. So you're going to bend the elbows, palms to the sky, and just allow the backs of your arms to rest down into the floor. And you can feel how this broadens the whole entire lung, chest area. And we're going to come into a little bit of yoga breathing together. So see if you can breathe with me. Take a big inhale through the nose, fill the lungs up with breath. And then out the mouth, exhale, let it all go. Empty the lungs out of breath. And then we'll begin. Inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. And then out the nose, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Take another inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. And then exhale out the nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Good, inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Rest in that stillness. And then out the nose, exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. 2 more rounds. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. And then exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Good, last cycle. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. And let it go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Beautiful. Take another big inhale through the nose. And then out the mouth, exhale, just let it go. Let go of stress, let go of tension, negativity, toxicity. Just let it go. Take a last minute or so here in reclining tree pose. Then from here, we'll come into the twist on the other side. So take your left knee and bring it all the way back up to center, facing the ceiling, facing the sky. Take your left arm, extend that out to the left. Your right hand on that outer left knee, and you'll guide that left knee all the way into a twist to the other side here, twisting over to the right. So we'll call that phase 1. If that feels good, you'll stay there. Phase 2 is cat pulling its tail post. So this time you'll bend the right foot in. The right heel comes in. And then you'll reach down with your left hand. You'll grab that foot and you'll pull it in. You're taking that left shoulder blade, which often likes to lift off the ground, and you're anchoring that down so you get that stretch and that fascia between the inner shoulder, the inner chest, in addition the whole lower back area as well. And then if you want to extend that left leg all the way out towards straight to maybe a phase 3, feel free. This from Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching, who writes, "A man is born gentle and weak. At his death, he is hard and stiff. All things, including the grass and trees, are soft and pliable in life, dry and brittle in death. Stiffness is thus a companion of death. Flexibility is a companion of life. An army that cannot yield will be defeated. A tree that cannot bend will crack in the wind. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail." And you think about in our culture where we're just programmed to think that we have to be fast and furious and strong and aggressive in order to have power and to have strength. And that's really an illusion. As Lao Tzu talks about, as Bruce Lee used to talk about, this idea of being able to be supple, to be malleable, to be soft, to be supple, just like things in nature are applicable to us as humans as well. And right now, at the time of this live, we're in the midst of this global corona crisis. This is a challenge. This is a huge storm that we're all facing as a species. And whether you're doing this practice during that challenge or another challenge, if we want to be able to weather these storms that the universe throws our direction, we have to be able to bend with the wind. So allow this practice to bring flexibility, not just into your body, but also into your mind and into your heart. We can get rigid in the mind, we can get contracted in the heart. So feel yourself relaxing, becoming more spacious on a physical level, a mental level, an emotional level. And then that space, as that scope begins to open up, what happens is, it's what's buried in there has an opportunity to be expressed, to be revealed. And what's buried in there is our treasure that we're born with. Health, vitality, compassion, love, goodness, benevolence. It's all there. It's woven into the fabric of who we are. From here, let's ease out of the twist. So go ahead and bring that left knee all the way back up to center, back up to neutral. And bend both knees back into your belly, back into your chest. And then just start to rock forward and backward several times. So you're massaging intentionally the meridian of the spine, that Sushumna Nadi, back and forth, back and forth. And then go ahead and rock yourself all the way up to seated. And then as you get up to seated, we're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together, setting up for seated diamond. So we have butterfly pose where the feet are close in, and then we have seated diamond where the feet are further away. Make sure that you move the feet away from your body, and that your lower body is shaped like a diamond shape. And then the hands reach down and grab onto the ankles. And then take an inhale, lift up tall through the chest, through the spine with nobility and dignity. And then on the exhale, just start to bend the elbows and fold down to your own degree. Some of you may stay up, and that's fine. Some of you may have your forehead all the way down to your feet. Some of you may have props, and you may create a little tower here so that you can support your head. So I use a bolster and a block, and I'll just fold the forehead right on top of the block. And if you don't have a block, any props, all good, just do what you can. But ideally, you want to support the weight of your head so that your neck muscles can release and relax. So we'll be here for a few minutes. Now you can see on so many levels just the simplicity of the practice. Bruce Lee said it's not about the daily increase, it's about the daily decrease. So we're not trying to add on to you, we're not trying to fix you. It's about letting go. What can you let go right now in this practice, right now in this moment that's no longer serving you in a positive way? Maybe you have a thought that comes up into your mind in these long holds where your mind goes into distraction, and so the letting go, the daily decrease becomes about letting go of the mind wandering, that monkey mind, and you return back to the present moment. You come back to the breath. You come back to the sensation that you're feeling right here, right now in this body, so you're training your ability for your mind to go where you choose it to go. As the Buddha said, rule your mind, otherwise your mind will rule you. So again, it's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's soulful. But surrender and continue to let go, because the more you let go, the more powerful the practice will be. From here, go ahead, ease your way all the way back up, just taking your time to come out. And let's bring the hands to the outer knees, the outer thighs, draw the knees together, open the feet out about the width of your shoulders, bring the hands behind you, and then let's windshield wiper those knees side to side, just as a little counter stretch, a little counter movement. So you can imagine that the yin yoga pose injects medicine into the target area, into the place where the pose puts that good positive pressure. And then when we come out of the pose and we follow it up with a counter movement like this, it's as if it's just spreading the medicine around all the fascia in that area. So it goes from being concentrated to becoming more diffused. And a lot of that medicine is the hyaluronic acid, which is like nature's moisturizer. It's what keeps our connective tissues nice and hydrated, which is key for aging with grace, because the older we get, the drier the body becomes, the stiffer the body becomes. Good. Bring the knees all the way back up to neutral, cross the feet, and then roll over to all fours, tabletop position. From tabletop pose, you're going to place the knees right beneath the hips. We're going to take the fingertips and turn those back to face the knees, so the front of your hand and your wrist is facing forward. And then reverse hands, cat and cow. So on the inhale, drop the belly, pull the heart forward and out. And then on the exhale, round the back, curl the chest and the chin in. And then just try that several more times on your own. So just lubricating the hands, the wrists, the forearms, also very beneficial for the spinal column as well. And as you do that, really feel that harmony, feel the breath, the movement, the mind, the heart, all gelling together. This is the essence of yoga, of yoking, of finding oneness. So instead of things being divided, being pulled in all these different directions, everything becomes united. And unity is the precursor to true strength. Good, and then we'll come back to a neutral spine. Turn the fingertips back around to face the front. From here, we'll come into deer pose. So we're going to take the right leg. You're going to bring your right leg forward so the right shin is flush with the top of your yoga mat. Right knee's facing over towards the right. The key for this is your back leg. You want to bend that about 90 degrees. So instead of your left leg being straight behind you, you're bending this left knee so the left shin is flush with the top of your yoga mat. Right shin flush with the top over here. Now, sometimes it's good if you feel like you have a lot of pressure in the knee or the hip. Sometimes it's nice to put a block of support underneath that right hip. You can also use a bolster or blanket if you have one. So with your chest facing forward, take an inhale, lift up nice and tall. And then on the exhale, just begin to fold out over that front right leg. And again, if you can, create something for your head to be supported by. You can use your props. You can even use your hands. You can bring your hands to fists. It's like a poor man's block. And you can place your forehead right on top of that block. Sometimes I'll use that when I travel and I don't have any props, so all good. So find your place, and now we'll let that target area really get into that right hip there. Now right now, with the crisis going on and the challenges that we're all facing in the world, one thing that initiates is it turns on the sympathetic branch of the nervous system, which is connected to our survival mode. And when we get stuck in survival mode and we're constantly chronically stressed out, this creates a stress chemistry in the body. So the chemistry becomes overloaded with cortisol and adrenaline. And this is kind of like a battery acid. It's really destructive for the tissues of the body. It breaks down the tissues. It breaks down the cells in the body. And the cells are the building blocks of life. So it's very, very important, even when we're facing a crisis, even when we're in the midst of challenge, that we take time out of our day, out of our week, to switch from survival mode into relaxation mode. And this is why your yoga practice is more important than ever. This is why your meditation practice is more important than ever. Because as you shift from survival mode into the relaxation mode, into that parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, then you begin to shift the chemistry away from that toxic acidity into more of a medicinal alkaline substance. And this becomes like superfood for those cells, and therefore our tissues and our organs and our bodily systems. When you're in survival mode and you feel like you're chronically under threat, under attack, this isn't a time for your body to recharge, to rejuvenate, to build good quality substance. This is emergency mode. But as you come into these long, slow, deep practices and you just stay with that slow, gentle flow of the breath, you're changing your chemistry, you're balancing your nervous system back out, and this is paramount. So continue to just trust that you have an intelligence inside of you, that there's an intelligence in your body, and it's always striving to bring you back to balance, to health, to vitality, and that you don't have to make anything happen, you just allow it to happen. Get out of the way of yourself and just allow that intelligence to do what it knows how to do. From here, go ahead and slowly ease your way all the way back up. And then we'll just lean over into that right hip so we can swing the left leg forward all the way towards the top of our yoga mat. With your left leg out in front of you, take the right foot, bring it high up to your inner left leg, left thigh, setting up for a half butterfly pose. Almost looks like what you did in that first pose, that reclining tree for the lower body. As you're ready, go ahead and reach the arms up above as you inhale, so create a little bit of length. And then on the exhale, go ahead and fold all the way over and down, out over that left leg, just to your own degree. And again, it doesn't matter how far you go into the pose. So phase one of the yin pose is you want to find your edge where you don't go too deep, you're not too shallow, you find your sweet spot. Phase two, see if you can become as still as possible. Remember, this class is moving into stillness, and stillness is the doorway from your limited small self to the unlimited big self. If you need to make an adjustment, little adjustments are fine. We're just trying to eliminate any unnecessary fidgety reactive behavior. And then you marinate in that stillness. You let that medicine do its work. And then stage three, just surrender to time. 3 to 5 minutes, just relaxing into the pose. And nice and easily go ahead and begin to transition out of your half butterfly pose, just taking your time. And from here we'll take our right hand and reverse circle it all the way to the back of our yoga mat with the right fingertips facing away from you. So the fingertips facing towards the back of the mat. Point your left toes down and then lean back onto your right hand. Lift your hips up, lift your belly, take an inhale. And reach your left arm up and back. And then exhale, lower slow with control all the way back down into the mat. So just a nice, sweet little yang back bend. Let's do 4 more like that. Inhale, lift up through the hips. And then exhale, float everything down, smooth as silk. Good, inhale, number 3. And exhale, lower down, consciously, mindfully. 2 more. Inhale, let the breath lead the way. And exhale all the way back down. Good, one more time. Inhale, root to rise. And then exhale all the way back down. Nice, you guys. From here, we'll take the right ankle and we'll place it right on top of that left knee, setting up for fire log pose. So go ahead and bend your left foot so it comes underneath your right knee, right thigh. Now a lot of options for this one. If you want, you can take a block and you can put it in between the knee and the foot for support. You could take the block, put it underneath the hips and elevate your hips up. If none of that feels right, you always have the option to just simply cross your right shin in front of your left shin and come to Sukhasana, easy seated pose. So find the variation that feels right for you. And then on the inhale, reach those arms all the way up above. And then exhale, go ahead and fold all the way over and down just to your own degree. Remember, phase 1, not too deep, not too shallow. Find your sweet spot because you want to be able to sustain it. And if you go too far, too fast, then you're going to have to exit out early and you're going to miss the medicine. There was a boy that grew up in the land of Tibet, and his family was very, 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 very poor. And so the food that they ate would often be the same thing every meal, every day, which would be these kind of ground up flour patties that were cooked over fire embers. But anytime there was a Tibetan holiday, that was a special day because then they would take those same patties, but they would sprinkle some sugar on top. And to this boy, it was the best tasting thing that he had ever experienced. And he was always delighted and just full of joy every time he got to have the treat. He vowed as a kid that one day he would grow up and he would make enough money so that he could take his mom to some of the finest restaurants around the world. And he was successful in the sense that he became a famous restaurant owner. And he was able to travel around and go to all these restaurants. But sadly, before he was able to do that, his mom had passed away. So he was never able to fulfill this deep longing desire and wish that he had. And he spoke about how as young boys that they would play this game where they would imagine if your house was on fire and you could only take one thing out of your house, one object to keep, what would that one object be? And other boys would say something like a comic book or a television or a radio. But to this special boy, his most prized possession and object was a small scrap of yellow paper that his mom had given him on her deathbed. And written on this yellow piece of paper was the recipe for those sugar-coated patties. And that was his most prized possession. And it wasn't even the piece of paper that mattered the most. It was what it symbolized. And what it symbolized was his mother's unconditional love towards him. That was his most prized possession. We get so wrapped up within all this materialistic stuff, and we lose perspective, we lose sight as to what truly, really matters. And ultimately, at the end of our life, we're not going to care about how many social media followers we had, how much money we had in the bank account. What we care about is the quality of our relationships. And did we love well for this time on this planet? These practices of yin yoga, they bring us back. It's like a North Star. It brings us back to what really matters. To get back onto that path of joy, of meaning, and fulfillment. Beautiful. Slowly ease your way all the way back up. And then let's come back to the windshield wipers, feet flat on the mat, hands behind you. Just let those knees sway side to side. Cross the feet in front. Roll over to all fours, tabletop position. From here, slide your knees back behind your hips. So you're in a modified plank, modified push-up. Take an inhale there. And then exhale, just go ahead and lower slowly all the way down onto your belly. Slide the elbows forward, Sphinx pose. Elbows right underneath the shoulders, forearms parallel to each other. Make sure that your elbows aren't behind your shoulders. They're not in front, but right underneath. So stack those two joints. And then you can stay here, or you can come to devotional Sphinx, where you bend the elbows and bring your hands to prayer. Namaste. Namaskar to all my friends in India. And if you're in a prayer position, you can always relax your forehead right onto your fingers there, so you're supporting the weight of that head again. So find the variation that feels right for you as we come into a nice yin backward bend. This is really important to move our spine in this direction, because so much of our day and our life we're in a forward bend. Anytime we're texting on our phones, working on our computers, eating a meal, driving a car, we're hunching that back. So this moves the spine in the opposite direction. As the great Yogi Bhajan said, you're only as young as your spine is flexible. So we want to make sure that that spine stays nice and supple. It's the most important channel in the body. You can live without an arm or a leg, but you can't live without a spine. Feel free to stay in Sphinx, or if you want to move into seal pose, option to take the hands towards the top corners of your mat. Rotate the fingertips slightly outwards so you broaden through the shoulders. Press down into the hands, lift your chest up. If that feels good, relax the shoulders back and down. And look, if this is too much, just stay in Sphinx pose, all good. One person's medicine is another person's poison. So you want to choose what is appropriate for you. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. What matters is what the wisdom of your body needs. Take a last minute and a half here. If you're in seal pose, take one last inhale, maybe lift the heart up a tad higher. And then exhale, gently float and release the elbows back down into the ground. Ah, good. Bring the hands on top of each other, open the elbows out, and then just rest your forehead right on top of your hands. Coming into what we call resting belly pose. After that backward bend, just allow your spine a little bit of space, a little bit of time to adjust to what you just did. Famous composer Claude Debussy said that music is the silence between the notes. Can you experience the music, the silence between the thoughts inside the mind? Can you allow yourself to dive deeper and deeper into that matrix of stillness, of serenity? Continuing to let go and to let be. Good. From here, bring the hands all the way back by the ribs. Slowly push yourself all the way up to all fours, tabletop position. And I guarantee you, somebody out there, probably a lot of somebodies, fell asleep in that pose. It happens every single time. They may be conked out right now, snoring, especially those of you in Asia. Late night. All right, so we're going to push up to all fours, tabletop position. Cross the feet behind you. Roll over onto the sit bones. And then we're going to come into deer pose on the other side. So take your left shin and you'll bring it to the top of the mat, the right shin flush over to the right, or the opposite of whatever you did last time. Remember, this is the one where you can put some support underneath that left hip if you like. Torso facing forward towards the top of the mat. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, just begin to fold over and down, just giving that left hip a beautiful, wonderful touch. A few minutes there. Good, that's it for this one. Go ahead and slowly ease your way all the way up. Lean into your left hip, swing your right leg all the way around towards the front, the top of your mat. And with your right leg extended out straight, take the left foot, bring it high up. to your inner right leg, right thigh, setting up for half butterfly pose on the other side. And then taking your time on an inhale, reach those arms all the way up. And then on the exhale, just begin to fold over and down to your own degree. Each one of these postures, each one of these poses is a metaphor for an experience in our life. Some poses, some experiences are pleasurable and enjoyable and sweet. And other poses and other experiences are challenging and difficult, and it's a struggle. Some poses, some experiences are in between, they're neutral. But to become awakened is to become free of what we label as good or bad. To become awakened, to become enlightened, is to transcend holding on to things that we enjoy and pushing away things that we have aversion towards. So we have to become free of the push and the pull. Because the push and the pull, it comes and goes. Good things come and bad things come, and then they pass away. And as the Zen master Suzuki Roshi said, when you realize that everything changes and you find your composure within the change, then you find yourself in nirvana. So you stop creating drama and story around the poses or the experiences in your life that are difficult. That's just part of the human experience. It's part of nature. And then you begin to rest in equanimity. You find steadiness. You find an inner balance and an inner resiliency. And that allows you to navigate the highs and lows of life with so much more grace and wisdom and dignity. But you have to practice it within these poses. So practice keeping the breath steady and gentle, keeping the mind steady and quiet, regardless of what pose you're in. And if you can do that in your yoga practice, then you can do that in your life practice. Beautiful. Slowly transition all the way back up. And then this time we'll take the left hand, reverse circle it all the way to the back of your mat. And then lean back into that left hand. Take an inhale, lift up through the hips, reach back to your right arm. And then exhale, lower everything back down to the mat. 4 more like that. Inhale, feel the expansion. And then exhale, descend. Inhale, open up. And exhale, release down. Dos más. Inhale, rise. And exhale, lower. Uno más. Inhale up. And exhale down. No más. Good. Left ankle on top of that right knee, right thigh. Go ahead and bend your right foot underneath your left knee, left thigh, setting up for fire log pose on the other side. Remember here, find the variation that works for you. And sometimes one side is tighter than the other side or more flexible than the other side. So it's okay if you do something different than you did the first side. As you get set up, inhale, arms come up. And then exhale, fold down with humility. And this may be one of those poses that you find challenging, especially when we get to like minute 2 or minute 3 and you want to run away from what you're feeling. See if you can have the courage to be with what's there. No push, no pull, no grasping, no resisting. Because the things that you resist persist. But the things that you embrace, you move through with grace. Fire log pose. All right, you guys, that's it for that one. Ease your way all the way up and out. Feel that one deep in your bones. Usually at this point in the practice, you feel like you're 108 years old, right? All right, windshield wipers one more time. Bring the hands behind you and just let those knees sway side to side. Hurts so good. All right, let's extend both legs straight out in front of us. Setting up for caterpillar pose. Both arms up to the sky. On the inhale, feel that length and that lift to your side waist. And then exhale, go ahead and fold over and down. So your hands grab whatever you can get. Your hands to the feet, the ankles, the shins, the knees. You can let the arms straight down. Whatever feels right. You can use your props here as well. Bolster on top of the legs. A block or two on top of the bolster. If you don't have props, but you're, passionate about yin yoga, definitely recommend that you invest in that. It can become real handy. Just helps to kind of blend a little bit of yin yoga with restorative yoga. Restorative yoga, we use props to really support the body so that there's what we call Wu Wei, or the path of least resistance, of least effort. So we'll be in this one for a good solid 5 minutes. And this one is medicine for the whole entire back side of the body, the posterior chain from the heels all the way up through the top of the neck and the base of the skull. Ralph Waldo Emerson writes, "Within man is the soul of the whole, the wise silence, the universal beauty, to which every part and particle is equally related, the eternal one." What would happen if at this point in the practice you just let go of all things that bind you to form? Can you have the courage to let go of anything and everything that puts a label on you? Your name, your age, your ethnicity, your nationality, your occupation. When I set all those things aside, who am I on a deeper level? Can you rest in that wise silence? Can you allow stillness to be that doorway from form into the formless, from time into the timeless, from the finite into the infinite, the eternal? And the only way that domain of oneness can be experienced is by stilling the body, stilling the mind. Take a last minute there. And nice and easily, very, very slowly begin to roll yourself out of that position. And again, it's common to feel some tenderness into the connective tissues around the spine, so just take your time, nice and slow. And as you get up to seated from here, we're going to go ahead and release all the way down onto our backs to a final resting pose, a corpse pose. So go ahead and come all the way down onto your back. If there's any last stretch or last movement that you want to do, maybe a final twist, a bridge pose, whatever might feel right before you come into a final place of stillness, give yourself that permission. And then once you've done your last final movement here, just allow your legs and allow your arms to radiate out from your spine, from your torso. And feel free to take up some real estate around the body so you feel expanded and spacious. Scan through the body one last final time and just notice there's not a particle in your body right now where you're holding on. Everything in that state of release and relax. As we now dissolve deep into stillness. Taking these last 5 minutes or so. belly from here, nice and easily. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And out the mouth, exhale, let it all go. Good. Place a hand on the belly, a hand on top of the heart again. And I want you to recall that one word intention that you had at the beginning. What was that word? Take that word now and put it into the phrase, I am. And just repeat that phrase, I am, with your intention, whatever that was. Just a soft whisper. And not only is the thought there, but also feel the energy of it, feel the emotion of it. Feel that frequency and vibration resonating through every cell in the body, as if your mind was a radio tower broadcasting that signal throughout all the connective tissues, and all cells are picking up that frequency and in alignment with that intention, with that word. And then just allow that repetition to slowly fade away. Take another deep inhale through the nose. And then out the mouth, exhale, let it go. Good. Reach the arms up over your head, interlace the fingers, turn the palms inside out, stretch the whole entire body out. You might want to bring your legs back together, toes forward. And then reach the hands forward, grab the shins, draw the knees and the thighs back into your belly, your torso. Then roll over onto your left side in honor of the yin channel. And as you're ready, slowly press yourself all the way up to a last, final, comfortable, cross-legged seated position where we'll seal the practice. As you get up to seated, go ahead and bring the hands to prayer position in front of your chest, in front of your heart. Sit up tall in nobility. Allow the forehead to slightly drop down in humility. And give gratitude to the wisdom of your practice for bringing you back to all the things that are important and meaningful to you. The power of slowing down, the power of inner silence, the power of moving into stillness and that deeper recognition of who we are in a deeper way. And being connected into that place, we align with a true inner strength and a true inner power. And here in a couple minutes, now our job becomes to bring that inner strength and that inner power with us out into the world. We take time to retreat, to practice. And then we bring those resources with us into our relationships and into the world, and we show people the embodiment of what it means to be steady, to be equanimous, to be kind, to be compassionate, to be generous. And that begins to spread. It spreads, it ripples out to our immediate circles, our relationships, into our community, through our social media reach, and ultimately through everybody we come into contact with. From here, bring the backs of the thumbs up to the center of the forehead for clarity of mind. Fingers down to the mouth for thoughtfulness of speech. And hands back to the center of the chest, the heart, for consistency of action, allowing your yoga to shine through all that you think, all that you say, and all that you do. Much health, much wealth, much love to you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on YouTube for this Moving into Stillness Yin practice. Before you leave, maybe you can leave a comment down below and let me know how your practice was. Would love to hear from you. But it was an honor. It was an honor to share this time with you, and it was an honor to get to connect as a global community through yoga. and just sending you loads and loads of gratitude and good vibes. And can't wait until we get to do it again and to connect somehow down the road. So stay connected, and I'll see you next time. Much love. Peace.